Litecoin Lawton again on this beautiful day. I hope everybody out there is doing great out in YouTube land. It is July 11th around 8 o'clock. And if I was the government, I would be a little worried. So just joking. I wouldn't be worried if I was the US government, even though we have another hot inflation report coming in on Wednesday. They think that, it might be above this 8.6 level. So they're actually expecting another basis hike of 0.75 at the end of the month. We will see what happens on this, you guys. We have to be safe. There's a lot of really unpredictability right now in the markets. We will see kind of, the markets right now say that, it could be a little dumpy right now. We are getting some dumpiness, follow through here. This level on the SHIB is breaking. We are below 19 right now on Bitcoin. We'll see. I mean, these lines don't necessarily have to be exact. So if we'll see in the next couple hours here, you guys, if this is actually going to hold as a legitimate pattern, or if we're going to actually have follow through to the downside. So that is a very interesting thing on all asset classes, you guys. And obviously the reason why is because the dollar is pumping. I don't think I've ever actually charted ascending wedge right now of like such ferocity. This ascending wedge reminds me of my honeymoon period, my wife, so this thing is going up though, guys. Seriously, the DXY, this thing's in a strong buy. Obviously, we are getting crazy bullish divergences though. So I will say this, like I was looking at this bearish divergence. I'm sorry, you guys, bearish divergences on the daily and the 4 hour. This thing's getting ridiculous. Look at this. We're getting some serious bearish divergence. We haven't seen any of it played out yet either. So it's just kind of like, it's kind of ignoring the bearish divergences, which is pretty weird to me, but we'll see on the dollar. If you go to the weekly, you don't get it. But again, we are getting bullish divergence on a lot of these altcoins too. So like ETH is showing some bullish divergences. SHIB is showing some bullish divergences. Doge, is Doge yet doing it? No, Doge is not doing it quite yet. Silver, what's silver doing here? I'm going to the cipher, you guys. This is silver has been in a bullish divergence since August 2021. It's basically showing this like macro level on the daily bullish divergence. So we'll see about that. Gold. The reason these are just, you guys, the reasons I go into my certain asset classes is just because this is what I do every day. So these are the things I like. These are the things I'm looking at. The SPY right now, SPY 500 is showing some bullish divergence. And so that's pretty amazing. Excuse me, you guys. A little bit of that baby C coming around right now. Just joking. No baby C over here yet, but the only time you never mind. I was gonna have a really bad joke right there, but I just kind of held myself back because I'm I'm on YouTube, you guys. I have to respect the algorithm. So we'll switch off the cipher right now. Let's go to some price action. This is the SPX 500. This is showing some pretty macro. We're macro sell here. So this looks a little bit better. This chart right here, we had this kind of climactic volume kind of showing the peak. And usually there's climactic volume to show a reversal. This is actually something I haven't really looked at, the volume, the sheer amount of volume that came in here on the SPX, you guys, at this peak was it's a telltale sign of a top. And usually you'll have some sort of climactic volume. Typically it's to the downside just because it's easier to push something down a lot of times than it is to push it up. So let's go to Bitcoin now on the weekly. We have a strong sell. And zooming in on this thing, you guys, we are breaking some structure here. We don't have on the weekly, there's bearish divergence here. So this is probably what we're getting, this follow through of bearish divergence. So that's normal. That's to be expected. But then on the daily, we are actually starting to get this bullish divergence. So we are pretty low right now. I would say we're still in this ascending triangle. This could still be a valid pattern. Let's look at this thing together. I mean, I would say a break of 18,000, 19, call it 19,000 would invalidate this ascending triangle. So I'm keeping an eye on that because we are actually losing it on SHIB right now. This thing's actually dipping down. To really invalidate would be quad 5953. So we'll see. I mean, this could be like that, right? So a complete invalidation of this pattern right now is around a quad 5947. So we're still actually in this right now, you guys. Even though this dip, I was kind of expecting a dip to the downside right here. But again, I mean, we're having this blue hash ribbons indicator on Litecoin flash right now on the 4 hour. It's also flashing on the daily. So as soon as this thing perpetuates itself into the showing up on the weekly, because I don't think it showed up on the weekly yet. Yeah, so it hasn't showed up on the weekly yet. So it was, I think, on my last video, but now it's not. So it closed out that day to a point where it didn't close off the weekly. So I want to see this blue dot fire on Litecoin on the weekly, as well as Bitcoin and ETH. That's kind of what I'm on the daily. ETH has fired, and Litecoin has fired. But I want to see ETH on the weekly actually fire. So it actually was showing earlier this week, but now it's not. So I want to see it fire on the weekly, and that'll be a big sign that the miners have completely capitulated at that point, and now everybody's turning their machines back on. So it's kind of a sign of health in the market, and also just kind of a normal flush out of weak hands. So that's kind of, that's the way I read this. It's a lot of weak hands capitulating right now. And your risk is low, right? So it's all about risk and reward. And right now, buying as much as you can. This is not financial advice, by the way. As much as you can physically afford, with understanding that, inflation is probably coming in a little bit higher than 9% or whatever. But the other thing I wanted to show you guys is that investors right now are actually, there's $140 billion on the sideline right now in stable coins. And they basically, the way that crypto investors work, for the newbies out there, is we keep our money in stable coins, and then when it capitulates, or we have like an event where things drop significantly, then typically we go back in and buy when things are low, sell when things are high, and rinse and repeat, right? So a lot of people keep their digital assets in stable coins, and this week there, you can feel a surge right now in stable coins. And basically what happens is that there usually is a surge of stable coins before, you can instantly transfer your money or your stable coin into other assets. So there's a lot of people on the sidelines ready to pounce right now. We just have to have a little market pump to the upside here. And hopefully maybe we get some good news on Wednesday. So we're all kind of looking at Wednesday right now. I did want to point out the Sri Lanka's money collapse right now. This country has gone off the face of the earth right now. And this is what we don't want to happen here, and especially with a world reserve currency that's connected to everything. So, no one's ever seen this or had a world reserve currency other than the US dollar. So we will see, the everyday life right now in Sri Lanka is horrible. I can read some of this for you guys, but if you want to go check it out on Google right now, the Sri Lankan crisis. And it's pretty bad, you guys. The government owes like $51 billion and they can't pay for like gas and like bring in they can't pay for things now. So, and then their home money has been inflated like 80% this year. So it's collapsed. So it's affecting the people. They're fleeing to the dollar. That's probably part of this whole, dollar spike. And honestly, you guys, if this is the Sri Lankan pump, dude, then we are in for, the juggernaut, the dollar to just destroy, everything, you guys. So I hope that doesn't happen. The last time the dollar's gotten this high was in 2000. Yeah, so 2000, so right at the turn of the century. This is the last time we saw the dollar this strong, and then it pumped basically up to this 120-ish level around this area. And we had this kind of like triple top, and then this area, actually, this is what I wanted to point out, you guys. So this area, you have Death Cat here, right? But this area, after the dollar kills everything, okay, so after everything goes, it's not going to go to zero, especially Bitcoin, but it might get like wrecked down to like 14,000 now, because there's, global macro environments and things that have changed, and players are now fleeing unsafe assets, right, to safer assets like the US dollar, obviously. But we've never actually seen this kind of an event. So if something like this happens, you guys, this is going to be like, this is to give you some perspective. This was the last bear market, the 2017 bear market. This is what the dollar did. This was the 2020 bear market, before the rally to 63,000, right? We've never been through, Bitcoin's never gone through this kind of thing, like macro level. Like, look at this thing, you guys. This dwarfs this little, right? So, the exciting thing is that in the next maybe couple of years, a year and a half, maybe, we're going to see a top. And, that will be like the peak of an insane bull run, that the likes that you've never seen before, especially for Bitcoin. So hard times right now, but this is only like a year away. Like, this is only a 3-year period of time, this circled area for the dollar. So if it does come up here, it's going to Grim Reaper like a lot of things, you guys. It's like, I'm not going to lie, this is going to be really ugly if it gets up here in this level. So, some safe cash right now is key for this, because you want to buy this run right here. Like, that's going to be a run for the books, you guys. So when this thing tops out, when the Fed's had enough and employment numbers, they basically say at the end of this article that the Fed's only going to change course with high unemployment numbers. So we'll see what happens. I think that's also going to be the case. So it might happen really fast, and we'll see what happens. So anyways, this is what I want to bring to your guys' attention. Let's be part of this run. Okay. It might Grim Reaper everybody for a second. And the people that are in cash are going to love to buy this bottom right here. So, let's buy this bottom together, you guys. Your dollar cost averaging right now, that's your best friend. Start here. You don't know if this is going to be the top or the bottom. So you start like I've started, and you just basically dollar cost average from here to the top. And then we catch this whole, then we have a position going into the bull run of our lifetime. So anyways, you guys stay positive. This video's gone off a little too long. Likecoin Lawton, on this beautiful day. I hope everybody is doing well. Everything's been breaking for me today, and I work in electronics, so I hope my day doesn't translate to your day. Anyways, you guys, love you. Thank you for being part of this channel. All right, bye.